Assalamu alaikum Ali, thank you for joining. I'm sure कि आपका काफी busy time जा रहा है आज. We still have 1 minute, so we'll start at 4:30.
I think मैंने कोई कुछ catch कर लिया.
Traveling के साथ.
I'm on the way. I'm not really sure. On the way, I think I thought something.
Is your video open?
It is open.
Okay, I only see myself. I don't see you. Okay, now I do. You know, there's some option on this. इसमें कोई option होती है जिसमें to pin the screen on the speaker when you're saving. Do you know how to do that on Zoom?
To pin the screen or to pin the person?
So essentially, the guy who's speaking, his picture comes on the screen.
You can. Now I've pinned you. So if you do mouse over, there's these 3 dots.
Yeah.
And usme you can pin somebody. So I can replace pin, and now it's me. And I can replace it with you. You see?
Maybe it's called spotlight. There's some
pin. It's called pin. I'm on Mac, so it's pin.
Okay. I do see the pin option, but so okay. So I wo kar lete hain. So thank you for taking your time today, and you're joining from Berlin. And I'm very excited about this IPO. Also because it's not just because KTrade is a financial advisor for this IPO, but primarily because I think this is critical for Pakistani stock market, because this is the first tech IPO on the GEM board. और जिस तरह आपको पता है कि GEM board जो है वो create इसलिए किया गया था to encourage growth companies, but primarily tech companies to come and go public, because tech has the fastest growth in amongst every sector in Pakistan right now. So that's why I'm really excited, because I think this is historic for the stock exchange as well of Pakistan and for Pakistan's capital markets history. Also, I really think that Ali and SM, they're path blazers, because with the success of their IPO, they're actually showing the path to so many Pakistani tech companies that how can you go public on Pakistan Stock Exchange and raise capital and use that for growth. Also, the other reason why I'm really excited about Coeus' IPO is that Pakistan में technology sector अभी भी एक cottage industry है. मैंने एक report लिखी थी, आज से लेकर 100 टेक्नोलॉजी के डेवलपर्स काम करते हैं जो कि 500,000 मिलियन से $2 मिलियन के रेवेन्यूज बनाती है. ये बिल्कुल उसी तरह है जिस तरह आज से कई साल पहले टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर में फैसलाबाद अगर आप जाते हैं तो लोगों के पास 20-20 लूमें होती थी और वो अपने घर में बैठकर वीविंग करते थे, विजान बनाते थे. और इसी तरह सियालकोट में अगर आप जाए तो आज से 40 साल पहले 50 साल पहले आप हर गली में घुसेंगे तो हर घर के अंदर क्रिकेट के बैट बन रहे होते थे और बॉल्स बन रहे होते थे. मगर ओवर टाइम these cottage industries, they put in standards for corporate governance, for quality assurance. They had to do that because if they wanted to compete with global standards, they had to put in those layers of management and training and research and quality. And what we saw was that that led to the creation of larger textile conglomerates, Interloop and Nishat Mills of the world. We see in textile, and similarly, they are mega giants in this area of sports. मुझसे लोग हमेशा पूछते थे कि पाकिस्तान में टेक्नोलॉजी बिलियन डॉलर कंपनी किस तरह बनेगी और इंडिया में किस तरह बन गई. टाटा सर्विस सिस्टम्स और टाटा कंसल्टिंग सर्विस ऑलमोस्ट एक ही टाइम पे बनी है, मगर दोनों में डिफरेंस जो है वो 100 टाइम से भी ज्यादा है. और इसका मेन रीजन ये है कि जो इंडियन कंपनीज हैं और इसी तरह यूरोपियन कंपनीज जो हैं, इन्होंने कंसोलिडेशन की. दे यूज द कैपिटल मार्केट्स टू ग्रो एंड एक्सपैंड, नॉट जस्ट ऑर्गेनिकली बट ऑल्सो बाय ब्रिंगिंग अदर गुड कंपनीज अंडर देयर banner, under their management structure, and through that shared ownership they were able to grow. So those are the 2 reasons I'm really excited, because Coeus also intends to do the same thing, and I think that's the best path for becoming a tech unicorn. Unfortunately, I think other companies in the tech sector have struggled to grow organically. They're fine, they're happy making $1 million investment there and 1% investment there, rather than taking the M&A route for expansion. So Ali, I'm really excited. Thank you for taking your time. That was just a quick summary from my perspective that, why am I so excited about it? Because A, it's historical, B, it's a historic moment for capital markets that, inshallah, what you will achieve will open the way for a lot of other tech companies, and it will help the whole company, all of the capital markets. A lot of people have been saying to me, oh, gem mein liquidity zyada nahi hoti hai. But it's irrelevant because, of course, gem mein liquidity nahi hoti kyunki abhi jab launch hua hai. You will be the first tech company to come and go public. So when more good companies come and list, investors will have to invest in that, and that will create liquidity. So I always, as an entrepreneur, I respect and admire people, entrepreneurs who are path blazers, which you are. And secondly, as I said, that I think your path of using capital markets to do M&A and helping Pakistani companies to enter into a market such as Germany is a very, I think, a low risk strategy of becoming a tech unicorn. But that's from my side, Ali. Now I would love to hear from you. And we can set it up like this, that, why don't you first, give us an overview of the company, your plans for IPO, और उसके बाद I will ask a few questions, और उसके बाद we will open up for questions from the audience.
Okay, so
but we do want to keep it interactive, so I'll try to speak less, and I promise to the audience that I'll take more of your questions.
Okay, so I think as now probably a lot of people know, we started in LUMS. LUMS mein 2004, we had the batch of 2004, and 2007 mein we decided कि हमने उस market में जाना है जहाँ पे English is not the first language, and the strategy was very simple. Where English is not the first language, there the competition would be lower because obviously market entry is tougher, and it's a simple hypothesis that we had, which is how it turned out as well in the German market. It was difficult to enter, difficult to set up, difficult to live personally as well, but the returns are higher as well, in the sense that once you get established, it's a much stronger base than other places. But that's just the general overview. From a business perspective, what we did differently, and I think this is also one of the things a lot of tech companies don't do, is that we always thought that agar sirf technology services denge, so then we are always a cost center for an organization. What that means is that agar aap outsource kar rahe ho, outsource generally karte hain, not only technology skills chahiye hoti hain, but also from cost perspective. A lot of companies outsource because they want to save their cost. And that means that by definition, you are a cost center for an organization, which means by definition that agar koi aur cost sasta offering kar de, so then you can be replaced. So I always thought that ye jo business hai, then it's not sustainable. We're always working with clients who will grow, and when they grow their investors and their team would like to have it all in-source. So we would find it harder to protect our clientele, even if we are performing really well. So what that led to was that we should also be on the commercial side of the business. So what we did was, with our clients, we negotiated कि हमने सिर्फ technology service नहीं देनी, हमने commercial side भी handle करनी है, and that helped us actually to also create our own competences on managing the clients, growing the clients, managing large revenue bases, managing churn, and so on. And that changed us from a cost center to a profit center. So जब हमने road show किया, a lot of people, they ask us, some people asked us, why are you so confident about your general relationship with your clients? And I always say it is a simple model that if you are not just a cost center and you are the face to the clients, and you are the ones who has secured the clients, and you're growing the clients, and you're bringing in revenue to the company as well, it's a lot safer play. Or TC cheese, which put us apart from the companies, you mentioned it as well through M&As, and I think this is a big topic overall. Okay, when we came on the commercial side, we started doing and handling a lot of M&As on behalf of the clients. And M&As ki ek cheez ye hai ki it's generally people don't really consider it as part of their core strategy. The default idea of everyone and every entrepreneur is to build when they are growing, and they don't think of buying when they're growing. So for example, one of the large Pakistani company, when they wanted to enter German market 3 years or 2 years from now, they have been growing in the market in a manual way. So they're moving people from Lahore or elsewhere when they have the cash and they have the advantage that they can just buy a local competitor or a partner, which is a lot cheaper than growing it from scratch. I say it's a lot cheaper because ek to ye ke there is a valuation arbitrage. Valuation arbitrage matlab the valuation we get in the market in Pakistan versus the valuations that they can get while buying a company locally. But on the other side, it's a great go-to-market strategy because agar aapko local market ka nahi pata, language ka nahi pata, rules ka nahi pata, it's a lot easier to have that as part of your strategy. So that's a third part where because we went through that, because we have had the chance and I think we got lucky. We didn't think that far ahead in 2015 कि ये होगा हमारे साथ. But that was a really good decision to actually get on the commercial side, to get on M&As, so that this becomes a part of our tool set. It's just a tool set in your strategy on how you expand and how you do things. And it's not a default strategy. I didn't realize it before, but now as I talk to companies and I talk about creating a deal flow and all that, I think that people don't consider it as a core part of tool set, and people think it's harder than it actually is. It's not as hard as the way people think, because you generally acquisition ka ek wo hota hai ki aap acquire karoge to you need a lot of cash and you need a lot of push behind you. But basically it's all about deal making, and it's all about selling your company, selling the vision, and then combining it. So those are the three things which set us apart, I think, which are a bit different compared to other technology providers. Or other than this, what I think what sets us a little bit different than others is that we have a lot of companies are like that, but we have been not afraid of exploring new things. This is gem board listing bhi hai. Everyone I talk to, they're like, ye probably it's not the right way. Liquidity ki baat ki. So we're not afraid of. We think of it as an opportunity in general that we will avail it, and then we will see how it goes. So we are. In a way, German market betting on commercial side or M&A side or entering the gem board, all of this comes from the mindset that we don't always know what we don't know. So it's okay to push these limits and see where we land up. And these are not as risky as a lot of people think they are. They actually open up a lot of doors. Just pushing the market opens more doors than just negotiating. I always say that a lot of people negotiate against themselves. So a lot of my friends who talk about GEM, they say, GEM mein jaane ka kya fayda? Isn't it that the previous companies didn't do that well? And I'm like, previous results don't guarantee or show the future results. So you can't really say that. They're different companies, different circumstances. So that's what I think in a nutshell, what makes us a little bit different.
Thank you for that, Ali, and certainly, I admire your approach of taking up opportunities where other people are not taking those opportunities. Can you tell us a bit, because some people on the audience might not know the company that well. So can you tell us a bit about your client, your team, what does the company do, and on an organic basis, how do you see the growth coming for your core business?
All right. So we have basically two revenue drivers. We have a services revenue driver, which is very profitable. We work at above 50% net profit, so which is really good for our service organization. And there, as I said, we provide three services, which is technology product development, obviously, the commercial management, meaning we handle the clients, the growth, the RFP process, all of that. So we're on the, in a way, you can say we're on the sales side as well, but only on enterprises, meaning large accounts. And the third thing is consolidation support, where we help with technical due diligence, where post-acquisition, value creation, and all that. So on the service side, those are the three key services we provide. In terms of clients, we are very picky about how we choose the clients. Uski ek wajah hai कि German market में the legal regulation actually considered software services same as construction, strangely enough. And uska main impact ye hai कि if you hire me, for example, if you say you want to hire us to make your KTrade application, and somehow if you want any change in that KTrade application, we would have to do that within that 12-month default warranty period. And if you say, I don't like what they made, you can ask for a refund, a full refund. And that changes the way you sign contracts, because that means the revenue that you win is actually not really your revenue for 12 months. There's a default 12-month warranty. which has a direct implication that you have to be really careful in how you win clients, and you have to be really strategic on how you plan to grow them. So that's why if you see our clientele, हमने दो चीजें जो है वो I think we've kind of nailed them really well. एक तो ये कि जो हमारी integration है with the team, that's really well, and we are on the commercial side as well. दूसरी चीज हमने किया है कि हमने we have won the access to the clients of our clients, right? So जिस तरह होता है कि आप if you're working with your clients, you're basically a back office. So we negotiated कि हमने back office नहीं होना, we need the right to be able to sell any product or service to the customers of our customers, which has given us access to, I think now over 30,000 different businesses in Europe and so on. And आप इसके बारे में सोचो तो you can always think of customers as an acquisition point. So you can say there's a customer acquisition cost. So what would be the cost of 30,000 customers, right? So that is how we've seen it, and that is one of the really strong points we have. So that's the services side. Okay.
Just on this, I would love to get more, because services is your core business right now. How much of revenues does it? It's a majority of your revenues comes.
So right now, 90% of the revenue is services.
And in services, as you said, that you are servicing the client of your client. So effectively, you have 30,000 clients, but your key client through which you enter these. Access these clients is e-commerce. Can you tell us a bit about e-commerce? And what do you do for e-commerce?
So e-commerce is the market leader for reviews and ratings in Europe. I would say Europe, not just Germany, because if you look at the market, e-commerce is number one in Germany, in Spain, in Poland, in Netherlands, and second to competitors in France and Italy. The core business है managing reviews and ratings, which is basically reputation management for businesses. So for example, if you run a shop, an online shop, you basically have two key things which define your revenue. एक कि आपकी discoverability क्या है online. Obviously, you want your products and your shop to be discovered. और दूसरी है कि you want higher conversions. So discoverability comes from search engines and paid campaigns, and the conversion rate that comes from trust. Trust का एक ही element है और एक core चीज़ है, which is reviews. So e-commerce was the first company in Germany to start with a third-party reviews platform, and they are the market leader as well. और हमने ये सारा platform basically developed किया from scratch, and we manage it, and we, as I said, we provide the commercial support on that as well. So this is like what I would say since last 12 years, this has been our core skill, and we know this industry really well. We know all of our competitors. We know, obviously, from a tech perspective, we think the platform that we have is, if not the best, it's one of the best. And we've been able to win large deals like AXA's global deal, Allianz, AIG, and all that as part of our platform. I say one of the best because in deals के अंदर, in large deals के अंदर, हमने replace किया existing vendors को. Bazaar Voice is a competitor. They used to be listed and then they were acquired by a PE company. So कुछ businesses में हमने उनको replace किया. कुछ में Qualtrics is a big player. SAP bought them for $8 billion. Now they are a public company as well. कुछ में हमने Trustpilot को replace किया. It's $1 billion company listed in the London Stock Exchange. So I say that we are one of the best because wherever we have competed on RFP with request for proposals, we have won, and we have a really high rate of winning. So that's one of the core business. अब इसी core business के context में the second side, which is our product line, that comes in as well. So reviews and rating is big because obviously that's our home ground, so to speak. So we have a product called Vidmonials, which is video reviews.
I know it's a smooth transition from there to that, but I would love to interrupt you and ask you a bit more about e-commerce. तो आपने कहा कि e-commerce customer review service देती है, जैसा Trustpilot देती है and Qualtrics देती है, and you're gaining market share, and your main clients in that are companies like AXA globally and other 30,000 other clients. E-commerce आप e-commerce के chief product officer भी हैं, and e-commerce का co-founder आपकी company के board पे भी है. So that shows कि you're deeply integrated with them, and as you said कि आप सिर्फ उस company का product development नहीं करते, आप उनके लिए commercial contracts पे वो सारे negotiate करते हैं और उसके बाद सारी integration भी आप करते हो, जिसकी वजह से you are essentially a kind of like a part of e-commerce. और उसकी वजह से आपकी profit margin जो services में 50% है, जो normally नहीं होते, वो आपके 50% है। और आपने कहा कि जिस तरह बाकी कंपनीज जहाँ पे सिर्फ एक आईटी सप्लायर, सिर्फ एक कॉस्ट सेंटर होता है, उसमें उनकी प्राइसिंग नीचे जाती रहती है, मगर क्योंकि आप ई कॉमी के कमर्शियल साइड भी आप हैंडल करते हो, तो एसेंशियली आपकी उसकी वजह से आपकी प्राइसिंग स्टेबल है और स्ट्रांग है। मैं ई कॉमी के बारे में थोड़ा सा जानना चाहूंगा कि आप जरा हमें बता सकते हैं कि ई कॉमी के बैकर्स कौन है, कितनी बड़ी कंपनी है, आप उसके चीफ प्रोडक्ट ऑफिसर भी हैं, उनके इन्वेस्टर्स कौन है ई कॉमी के?
अच्छा, इकोमी में ओरिजिनली इन्वेस्टर्स है गोल्डमैन सैक्स। 2015 में गोल्डमैन सैक्स took almost 1/3 of the company, और जिसको इन्होंने the founders they bought them out. We were also thinking of participating in that. We couldn't because obviously उस time के ऊपर we couldn't organize the financing for it. But अब जो है इकोमी is fully private. There's no external shareholder. They do have several large private equity partners जो उनको support कर रहे हैं उनकी M&A growth strategy के अंदर. So they're buying different companies. Obviously, we are supporting as well, but they bought the largest competitor in Netherlands. Recently, they also bought one of the big players in email signature management. So वो भी है, and plus there are a lot more that they are acquiring. So वो they're supported by the PEs. And some of the large PE funds in Europe. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to disclose it or not. So now I'm like kind of in a water. I know some things, but I don't know if it's to be disclosed. But they are just PEs that
मैं
are
वैसे पूछना
there.
चाहती हूँ कि मुझे उनका नाम पता है। It's perhaps the largest private equity fund in the world, जिसने e-commerce को पैसे दिए हुए for their expansion, and as e-commerce grows, you grow on the back of that, because that growth is essentially coming through you, because all of the product and technology of the core business of e-commerce is Coeus, your company. So sorry, I stopped your flow. So essentially, आपने जैसे कहा कि आपकी services प्रोवाइड करते थे ई-कॉमी को, जो कस्टमर रिव्यू और रेपुटेशन मैनेजमेंट करती थी, और उसी के थ्रू आपने अपना जो प्रोडक्ट के अंदर आप जा रहे हैं वो भी उसी के थ्रू है। सो sorry, I stopped your flow.
No. It's a very good way because you can understand it कि अगर आप reviews and rating कर रहे हैं. So one of the things I think everybody would understand कि since 2018 or 17, video जो है that is becoming a major type of content online, right? कि अगर आप YouTube Shorts देख लें, TikTok देख लें, and all of that, video is becoming more and more favored way of content compared to text. इसकी implication उसमें search engine में भी है कि अगर आपकी proper YouTube videos हैं, they rank higher on the search results. पहले मैंने आपको बताया कि जो businesses हैं जो e-commerce use कर रहे हैं, they use e-commerce because they want to be discoverable and they want to have high trust. So अगर if these two are the primary reasons, and video is increasingly becoming more popular, then the natural progression is कि अब reviews भी videos के होने चाहिए, and we should be able to take video reviews because they are easily indexable, they are better for trust and so on. So that's what we did. We saw it in 2018, but tech wise उस time पे technology wasn't ready for it कि browser जो mobile browser है उसके ऊपर आप natively video नहीं record कर सकते थे. You needed an additional app, and obviously then there's no business model. You can't make people download a new app. But 2020 में and around about that, it became possible with HTML5 and all that. You are now able to record video natively on the phone as well. So that's what we did. हमने ये 2021 में launch किया product with Monial, और as I said कि we have हमें access है 30,000 customers की, तो हमने start में ही सारे customers के लिए enable भी कर दिया, which if अगर आप shareholder हो तो you can imagine कि you have now an unfair advantage in the marketplace. There are some competitors who are trying to do this as well, but compared to them, you start with a client base or user base of 30,000 businesses, which is a huge leg up whenever this go to market and these things come up. So the ये एक product है, उसमें now we are enabling the billings and now you can imagine कि अब इसके ऊपर जो revenues की हम बात कर रहे हैं, which would be $29 per month to $59 per month, these are all high gross margin revenues. These are not headcount revenues. Headcount में अगर हमारा 50% भी margin है, तो it is still linked to the team. So अगर हमने scale करना है, we need to scale the headcount as well, and we need to do all of that. जो with Monial का जो सारा revenue growth है, जो revenues हैं, they have much higher gross margins, and the scalability is a lot easier. So that's the play on Vidmonials. I don't think it will become $1 billion play on its own right, but it is video is a significantly big chunk. I think in this year, we can, by the end of the year, we would be able to claim with full confidence that we are the default market leader when it comes to video reviews. So we would be, and obviously because there is no other player that can claim to have 30,000 customers in the market like this. So as we go, this is a claim that we can make, and obviously the revenues and all that should back it up as well. But that's one side of one of the products that we have. When I say one of the products, I get a little bit uncomfortable because I don't want to appear that we are doing too many things. That's one thing I hate, that you do too many things at the same time, because that basically implies you're not doing anything very well. So I believe that there has to be focus, and whatever we do, we have to be at least the strongest we can be in that specific thing. So Vidmonial is just an add-on on what our existing service space is. I don't think this is a separate business line. It's just an incremental add-on on what we already do, and now we've unlocked a revenue stream on that on the back of, because we have a really good contract with Ecomi and a really good relationship. So I don't consider it.
Sorry, मैं आपको interrupt कर, इसका मतलब है कि आप Vidmonial जो है Ecomi के contract के through, you will be able to sell it to the same customers which are already.
We're already doing it, and interesting thing is, and I think a lot of people get surprised about it, कि इसमें हम Ecomi को कुछ pay नहीं कर रहे, और Ecomi का इसमें advantage ये है कि उनके customers को additional feature मिल रहा है without their investment. So we are investing on it. It's our intellectual property, and the customers की stickiness बनती है, because obviously Ecomi wants to prevent the churn and make customers sticky.
So
on the other side,
देख सकते हैं कि क्योंकि आपको 30,000 customers है और आप कह रहे हैं इस product में आप जो Vidmonial का product आप बेच रहे हैं, ये आप directly customers को बेच रहे हैं, इसमें Ecomi कोई share नहीं लेगा. तो इसमें how big can this be for you? I understood you said it's not it won't be $1 billion business, but incrementally in terms of revenues, how big do you think are you expecting the revenues from this business to be in the next 3 to 5 years?
We think out of 30,000 customers, we are looking at least about 5,000 that are going to continue to use it. So we've enabled it for everyone, right? So everyone has it, they're using it, they're collecting reviews, but we think the 5,000 customers or a little 3 to 5,000, and we're not talking rest of the market. We are only talking the market that is with Ecomi. The Baki customers, they're also signing up, and we're getting those as well. Unme 3 to 5,000. 3 to 5,000 customers, effectively for us, it means on a monthly basis, we are charging on average about $40. We charge 29 to 39, so we are charging on a monthly basis about $40 a month to these clients. So you can imagine that we are effectively saying that we are looking at 200K monthly recurring revenue, which is about 30 million overall. So if you ask me what is the value of this one thing, and what would I ask my team or the leads who are running Vidmonial stream? So for me, the target for them is 30 million in annual recurring revenues that they have to generate on the basis of this. And it's not a very far-fetched idea. It's not it's a really high number just by
you said $200,000 per month. So that's 3 million, right?
Effectively 2.4 million annual recurring revenue banta hai. And if you add it to churn and everything, and I say, okay, your goal is to make it into a business worth 30 million overall, right? Because that's 10x
the value of the business.
Yeah,
got it.
And the value of the business.
Just taking a step back, आप जो core business था जिसमें Ecomi की growth हो रही है क्योंकि वो expand कर रही हैं, what's the kind of growth rate you're expecting in your services business?
The way normally we have been growing traditionally, that has been 10-15% and so on, because this is headcount, right? So they buy a company and then we grow a little bit more. There's a new opportunity and we grow. So it has been growing traditionally 10 to 15%, and that's what we've shown in our IM and everything as well.
मैं कैसे के देखूं?
आखिरी
वही रह गया।
Okay. So आपका जो core business है services का, जिसमें आप 50% margins ले बनाते हैं, जो 90% of आपका revenues है, you expect that to grow by 10 to 15%. The growth driver of that is Ecomi.
The organic growth.
Ecomi is growing, and because of Ecomi growing, you get more customers. You already have 30,000, and that number is increasing. Ecomi is growing because they have credit lines from the largest private equity company in the world to acquire more companies. So that's the growth rate which we have seen historically as well, and that should continue.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, now with the same clients, you're going with additional products जो आप उनको बेच रहे हैं. उनमें से एक product है Bitmonial जो आपके ख्याल में it can make up to 2.5 million dollars of revenues per year. So that's potentially a $30 million net present value business.
And it's a higher gross margin because we're not selling the headcount, right? So we don't need a large team for getting those 2 million annual recurring revenue. It's just incrementally just bringing us revenue.
और इसके साथ-साथ आपका एक और भी product.
Yeah, the second product is where we are most excited about, and that is one of the things where हमें venture capital interest भी था काफी. Some of the largest VCs in Germany, they approached us, and there we see a lot more traction, which is WorkHub. So WorkHub basically is a remote work management platform. When I say remote work management platform, currently, if you go and you say, is there a Gartner Magic Quadrant for remote work? There's no Gartner Magic Quadrant for it. And there's no, if you go search and say, कि मुझे सारे software चाहिए जो remote work management के अंदर platform देने, there is no category like that. So what we think is we are actually creating a new category, and being a category leader changes the overall view of a company. That's like $1 billion play at there. So we are saying that the world has changed, and everybody knows that. There's a lot more remote work happening, and there's a lot of companies who are coming back as well. Now they're in hybrid mode, most of them. Demographics have changed. People have moved from city centers to suburbs. बच्चों की schooling वहाँ पे हो गई है. And so generally speaking, this is not going back anytime ever. That the whole thing has changed. Because the whole world has changed, it means that new tools and new processes are needed to engage the employees, to connect with the employees, and to have efficient teamwork. अच्छा, उसके अंदर when we see remote work, there are three things which are always important in any team environment. Remote may even more so. The first one is connectivity. Obviously, आप London में, आपकी team Karachi में भी है, there are employees in Lahore as well, and I think other cities as well for KTrade. You want to be able to stay connected to them. One way of connecting is कि आप messaging कर रहे हो और आप Slack के ऊपर हो या Microsoft Teams के ऊपर हो. But more than that, what you want is, as the chairman of KSB, that you want to be able to connect to everybody with a single click, and you want to know when they're in office and when they're not in office. Just like a normal office, we can always go over and talk to someone when they're in office. You don't have to like figure it out, send them SMS and see where they are. You go over and you talk to someone. The exact same thing has to work in a remote work environment as well. If it doesn't work, the team structures can't change. So some people say कि हम chat भी तो कर सकते हैं, messages भी कर सकते हैं, scheduling भी कर सकते हैं, but that adds friction to remote work, and that makes it harder for people to operate. So एक part है इसका connectivity. Connectivity की एक extension है कि आपने employee attendance भी manage करनी है. Are people actually available? Are they working from home, or are they not working from home? If they're working from home, do they have the right environment to work, or is it something basically they're distracted and they are doing a lot of things which you don't want, obviously, as a business owner or manager. तीसरी चीज इसमें दूसरी चीज है वो ये है कि employee engagement and rewards. For example, इस road show के अंदर I know KTrade की team, a lot of people have done a lot of effort as part of the trade show, and from that, obviously you want to recognize them and you want to reward them and you want to keep the morale up. So if you're there, you can just go and say good job and shabash and all that, but you need to give them recognition, public recognition, and people want that in terms of engagement. Plus, agar aapki recognition hai, you want to convert that recognition into rewards as well. So what we have is, you can, if you give me a recognition, I can convert that into coupons, into cash, into souvenirs, into the company merch and whatnot, whatever you want to do. So you basically convert those recognition into reward. This is really important regardless of remote work or not, because organizations now, they have bigger challenge in retaining talent. And one part of talent retention is recognizing employees and keeping them engaged with the platform. So that's the second part. The third part is compliance and checks. So compliance का क्या मतलब है कि let's say if I'm an AXA employee or my spouse she is employee of Allianz. So how do I guarantee कि जो मैं conversations or conferences कर रहा हूँ, she's not overhearing? And I mean, even if she is overhearing, it's not a problem, but there is a compliance check. जब आपके office के audits होते हैं, they want to track who is in, who is out, who has access to what. So when people are working remotely, all of those audits are out of the window. Now imagine that as a large organization like Allianz and EXA, if those audits are out of the window, you actually can't work anymore. And that means you should stop effectively, but you can't stop because the world has changed and you have to adapt to that changed world. And so that's a third part, which is compliance. All of these things together, in our opinion, has to be one platform, and that is what WorkHub is. That's where we're getting a lot of traction.
और थैंक यू फॉर एक्सप्लेनिंग दिस एंड यू आर राइट कि इस टाइम पे हम सबको पता है कि रिमोट वर्किंग हम सब वी आर ऑल यूज्ड टू इट, स्पेशली लिविंग आउटसाइड, बट इवन इन पाकिस्तान एंड काफी ज्यादा स्टार्टअप्स पाकिस्तान में भी बहुत ज्यादा कंपनीज क्रिएट हो रही है एंड ऑल ऑफ अस वांट बेटर सिस्टम्स टू manage the team and improve the environment for the working environment. It's a big focus for us at KSB to make it a better work environment for everybody. So इस product के बारे में आप थोड़ा बताएंगे कि आपके पास is it live, do you have clients? Because जैसे आपने बोला कि इस space में आपने कहा कि आपको VC interest भी आ रहा है, आप जर्मनी में हैं, मतलब it's easy, मतलब you are connected to companies which have been backed by Goldman Sachs, investment partners, now backed with the largest PE funds. So what's the client interest? What's the investor interest? Can we expect you raising money privately for that business separately as a venture, like we have seen like systems raise money for one load, etc.? Can you tell us a bit about this?
So पहली चीज आपने पूछी है कि whether it's live or not and so on. So I think I mean, if I could share my screen, I could actually quickly share with you and you could see it. But I would say that it's live and customers are using it. And in fact, on Capterra, which is part of Gartner, we were recognized in December as the fastest the fastest rising employee engagement software that is there. So so we have had the recognition. जब हमने रोड शो शुरू किया था, we were उस टाइम के ऊपर 100,000 एनुअल रिकरिंग रेवेन्यू था जब रोड शो शुरू किया था. नाउ फ्यू वीक्स लेटर हम लोग 230,000 एनुअल रिकरिंग रेवेन्यू में we've more than doubled it, and it's growing really fast and it's doing really well. So I think that I mean, I don't have to think and I don't have to say they're the numbers that speak for themselves. We're getting a lot of interest from the US as well. ये हमारे direct contacts नहीं है. These are the contacts who discover us because they need something like that.
How does the pricing work? I'm also interested from a usage perspective that perhaps we can also use it.
Pricing, you know, it's from a pricing perspective, we've kept it really price aggressive. So when you think about go to market, generally you have to decide a few things. कि आपकी offering क्या होगी, आपका जो actually customer acquisition है वो क्या होनी चाहिए, और आपकी जो price point है वो क्या होना चाहिए. In a nutshell, obviously there are other things as well. So price point wise, we are $1 per employee per month, which is better than I think it's 1/3 of all of the competition that would be there. It's $1 per employee is also for connectivity, and it's also for other features. So we did a benchmark and we said, if you want to get everything WorkHub has, then you need Microsoft Teams or Slack or something. Then you need on top of it an engagement software, which starts at $3 or more. Then you need something like tasks management and ticketing and Zendesk. So we have a direct comparison with Zendesk as well. Zendesk starts at $49 a month. So effectively, if you want to have the entire remote work suite in your organization, you need to spend $120 per month. And we have undercut it by bringing it down to $3. So effectively, on a price point, we have basically slash the prices, and we're I think in terms of disruption, you can say, I mean, there are different ways of disrupting the market, and in one of the ways, yeah.
I'm just conscious of time because हमें लोगों के सवाल आना शुरू हो गए हैं, और मैंने पहले बोला था कि मैं ज़्यादा नहीं पूछूंगा, मगर just 2 points on just 2 last questions on WorkHub. आपके ख्याल में इसमें से कितना revenues बन सकता है 2 से 3 साल, और जिस तरह मैंने पूछा था कि आपका VC interest इस product में कितना आ रहा है?
VC interest है, so our roadmap right now is directly कि हम लोग gem listing कर रहे हैं, then we are going, and then we will open the VC round for WorkHub as well. Or I think this is also one of the things which make our offering very attractive, because ये So valuation, and any person would give any valuation to it. They're not really counted in the valuation that we are currently at which we are floating the share. So this is a huge upside for any investor that is able to come in at this point in the company. So there is VC interest. We would do it after the main board listing, primarily because strategically it's a lot better than getting the top tier VC with a listed company in the track record and a very high growing revenue run rate with the recognition in the marketplace that gives us the maximum possible value for our shareholders and ourselves that is possible. And we would go following the main board listing.
So 12 महीने में आपके ख्याल में WorkHub के कितने revenues होंगे annualized?
I think this year we are planning to close at above 2 million ARR.
Okay, great.
Annual recurring revenue.
So raising money for that should be fairly easy. हम पाकिस्तान में देख रहे हैं कि मतलब companies pre-seed, pre-product companies are raising at $30-40 million. So and your whole company is valuated that. So just the valuation of that business can be more than the complete valuation of Coeus. But like, so why are you waiting till after the main board listing? Because like, let's say if I approached you that because we have VC investors who might
now you've had VC investors and so when you go into these routes there are certain things like आप किसी meeting में जाते हो, you have to dress up in a certain way, right? You have to present yourself and you have to be a certain profile. So when you go and you investment lena is not a problem at all because everybody sees the value, people will invest. What you need is tier 1 VCs that can propel you to a NASDAQ listing. You don't want any investment, you want tier 1 investment. If you want tier 1 investment, you want to comply with the entire checklist. One element of that checklist is the profile of the founders. The other element is the traction and the industry where the product is. And the third one is the current results that are there. So the profile of the founder point of view, say, we want to go in and now imagine that we're going from Germany or as a listed company. This is our track record. This is not a side business, it's a track record. That's what we want to do.
Thank you, Ali. So just to summarize, Coeus core business, very profitable, 50% margins. There's no pricing pressure because they are deeply embedded with their client, which is Ecomi, through which they get access to 30,000 customers such as AXA Insurance globally. Or Ali is also the chief product officer of Ecomi, which is the German customer review and reputation management company similar to Trustpilot. The co-founder of Ecomi is also on their board. And Ecomi is expanding because they have been given money by one of the largest private equity companies. We cannot give the name right now, but you can all Google who is the largest company. And they're expanding because of that. And because of it, Coeus' core business revenues should grow by 10 to 15% year on year. Besides that, they have two products. One is Vidmonial, which is extension of their product suite, which is customer review. कि आप वीडियो में बैठे customer review बना सकते हैं. ये वो अपने existing customers, 30,000 customers हैं, उनको बेच रही है. Ali expects that they can get 3,000 to 5,000 of their customers to start paying for it, which is a potential revenue of $2.5 million per annum. उसके साथ साथ दूसरा जो product है WorkHub, वो remote work management software है, जिसमें it's a kind of a venture product. They've just launched it, but within this roadshow period, they have gone to $30,000 of annualized run rate. They expect that within 12 months, this will go to over 2 million, and they will raise money separately from VC funds in that. So now पहला question है Yasin का. Yasin is asking from BMA Funds, he's asking how easy it is for somebody to enter this business. What's your addressable market in terms of value or percentage, and how much recurring capital, what's your working capital requirements? And his second question, other question is how much more pricing, how much pricing pressure do you expect if the market gets fragmented? How much CapEx is required if somebody wants to enter into your business?
I think आजकल technology is kind of commoditized, so it's not difficult to enter in any technology business. So it's a question of integrations mostly. There are very few businesses that are focused on new algorithms and new whatever new they want to create. A lot of it is primarily integrations, and you can always either buy it or if not buy it, it's a lot easier to build new products as well. So from a tech perspective, it's not very difficult to enter into Vidmonial space or WorkHub space. Your moat or your protection usually is your price points or your access to the market as you and how far ahead you are normally. So अगर मैं Vidmonials की बात करूँ, I don't know which product he meant to ask for. But agar matrimonial ki baat karun, to our moat is basically having the initial access to 30K, which the competitors don't have, who have to create it from scratch. So that's the moat. Agar WorkHub ki baat kare, to WorkHub mein, what we adopted two strategies. One is that we have adopted the platform play, which means that हमने जो सारी functionality बनाई है, that's in a platform. So you don't have to sign up with entire WorkHub to be able to use WorkHub. You can just sign up with the engagement part or the connectivity part, and that makes it a lot easier to sign up and start using the system. दूसरी चीज हमने किया कि हमने जो existing marketplaces हैं उनके ऊपर launch किया, meaning Microsoft Teams, Slack, and so on and so forth, which means कि जो अभी जो हमने revenue double कर रहे हैं, that is because we are rated highly in Microsoft Teams or Slack and so on, or we are searchable there and people are coming and customers are discovering us through that. And also obviously Gartner and KTrade ke through भी. So those are the two, I would say, things that are our protective strategies. Now, you could imagine, you could ask, अच्छा, बाकी लोग किस तरह enter कर सकते हैं इस market में? Can't they replace the same strategy that we have? Yes, everybody can replace it if you want, but it's a question of generating the initial traction that is there. I think Bitmonials to replace करना is very hard. It would need कि कोई company partnership कर ले Trustpilot के साथ या one similar companies के साथ या वो शुरू कर दे ये product, which is always the case. So that's one thing. अब एक और question ये था कि capex requirements can to enter it or to run it on an ongoing basis.
Enter the business.
I think if you want to,
there was one on working capital as well. So, yeah,
capex, it's really hard to say for any product how much cost it will be to build KTrade app from scratch, for example. So it's always easy to underplay the effort that goes into creating any new product. If you're cloning a product, then you're saying whatever they have, I will just clone it. So this is the time and cost it would take for me to do it. So it's very hard to give a specific number to it. And then technology is just one part of it. I'll give example again with KTrade. KTrade app is one part. There's a whole ecosystem around it that works and supports the KTrade app. So when you look at the app, it's not only the app, it's other things that are around it as well. For us as well, it's not only the technology that is there, it's the market reach and it's the inbound and it's the SEO that comes with it. I can't give a number on that because that depends on which market you launch to and how. So if you say I will only launch something for the insurance sector and I am involved in the insurance market and I've been working in insurance market, then your capex of launching a product could be as low as, let's say, $500,000. But if you are starting from scratch and you say, this is the idea that I liked and I want to just clone it and I want to start it, maybe you can create the tech at 5 million, but then you have to raise another round to actually get some traction in the marketplace. So I think it's hard to say. To keep running the product, the capex, in my view, it's a function of the number of clients and companies that are using it. So we are basically we calculate on the number of employees. So we think that the cost per employee to our platform is about 10 to 15 cents. And remember, I said we are charging $1 per employee per month. Our cost in general is 10 to 15 cents.
Got it. So जैसे आपने कहा कि these products about integrations, because अगर let's say मैंने अपनी company में आपका system और मैं बड़ा enterprise हूँ और मैं compliance के issues को से verify को वो check करवाना चाहता हूँ आपसे, so I won't go to a startup which I don't trust. I need to be working with that company for an enterprise solution to allow me to come and sell. So and your target market, of course, is not Pakistan. Your target market for this is your current target market, which is Germany and Europe. So the next question, there's a question from Taha. He's asking, aren't there any patents to prevent cloning of the product?
You can have patents, and we've kind of explored it. It's very hard to patent. So what we've done is our approach is different, right? So we're creating a new category, and we're saying, after connectivity, employee engagement, and all of that should be in a platform way. And the individual components are there used in different ways. So I can't patent conferencing. I can't patent a team wall either, which is just a UI element. And a lot of companies innovate on UI and user experience a lot. So we are innovating effectively on the market strategy and the user experience. And you can't effectively patent. In Europe, with आप कर ही नहीं सकते software patents. It's next to impossible. In US, it's also getting very difficult to patent the user experiences. So I think the moat here is to get and capture as much market as you can. And patent is, at the moment, in as much as we have explored, it's not possible right now.
Absolutely. Tariq Rishi is asking, what's the revenue per employee?
Our revenue, if you ask our revenue per employee, it's the net profit is $1,700 per employee per month.
So okay, so not revenue, but profits. You're saying.
But profit is the number that market looks at, right? So you know, but revenue is much higher. It varies, but on our current employee profitability is $1,700 per month.
Great, thank you. This is euro or dollar?
Dollar. To benchmark it, the largest IT company has 250, just to keep it in perspective.
Oh, so you're saying essentially that like systems ka revenue per employee 250 or aapka 17?
2.2, आप खुद calculate कर सकते हैं ना. Last year 2.2 billion rupees in net profits, 4,000 employees, that's $250 per employee. हमारे भी आप इसी तरह कर लें, divided all by 110 employees, it's much higher.
Got it. Adil Kaleem Bhatti is asking, how much revenue do you generate from software development and BPO service? I don't think you have BPO service.
No, we don't do any BPO. Software development is our entire top line this year is $4.5 billion US. Got
it. Yasin is asking, what's the key risk for your business?
I think there अभी तो आजकल तो key risk जो है वो Mr. Putin है. लेकिन इसके अलावा, if we ignore that, the key, it's not that much. I mean, this is like the political things that come up, but the key risk is local regulation around. अगर WorkHub को देखें तो US में नहीं है, but Europe में employee laws around employee interaction are getting very strict. So that's one of the risks के आपको allowed ही ना हो कि आप publicly लोगों को recognize कर सको. It is possible. It's not completely far-fetched. Obviously it's not currently in there, but this is one of the risks के regulation इस तरह हो जाए which protects employees in a way कि आप recognize नहीं कर सकते, आप वो चीजें नहीं कर सकते which we are doing to create engagement, because engagement kind of sometimes conflicts with the privacy. If you're recognizing somebody publicly, some people don't want to be recognized publicly. What happens if 120,000 employees of Metro Group don't want to have recognition? A few of them. So that's a risk that you have to play with always in terms of local regulation.
Got it. Another question from Yasin. There are a lot from Yasin. He's asking how many of the people are based in Pakistan? How many are based abroad?
90% are in Pakistan, rest are in Germany. So 110 employees. Yeah, 100 in Pakistan, 10 in Germany.
Got it. This is a good question from Vikas. He's asking that because you're saying you want to do M&A and you have allocated 500 million rupees, I'm assuming, for M&A, but you want to target companies with 3 million, up to 3 million euros in revenues. How do you fund that? Like that would be too expensive.
Stock and cash. So it's a very simple thing. Nobody wants to sell their company if they're running a decent business. They want an upside in Coeus. So that's one of the things that जो हमारा भी goal है for listing कि market cap है. Market cap enables us to create a platform where other companies can join in, and as we grow, all of us we gain out of it. So it's a cash and stock deals that we are offering, and जो fund जो amount है, this is actually going to go into not just part of the merger, but to grow those companies in the German market and so on. So this is kind of growth capital for them, partially part of the cash stock deal.
Got it. और आपने इसमें एक वीडियो भी बनाई हुई है विकास की जो एक्सप्लेन करती है आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी फॉर एम&ए कि आप उनको इंसेंटिवाइज करेंगे कि वो भी आपकी ग्रोथ का हिस्सा बने rather than कि उनको कैश देके कहें कि अपनी कंपनी बेच दो. So I get that. I strongly recommend that video. Adil Kaleem is saying that BPO was listed in the IM. I'll check. Go back to I'll check. But they don't do BPO. Maybe it was mentioned as a broader category. Tariq Rishi is asking that by applying DCF model in future revenues for the next 5 years, what is your current valuation? I don't think, have you done that in your projection somewhere, like in terms of DCF? I don't think
it's in the IM. I don't know if it is in the IM or not.
No,
I am the last person.
No,
I'll comment one. I'll have one comment on it.
I will go to your question. I will just posing the question in a different way to you, Ali, that of course आपने खुद तो अपनी valuation नहीं की as a company, मगर IPO आपकी अब इस वक्त जो लिस्टिंग हो रही है ये किस वैल्यूएशन पर हो रही है और जो
30 million.
$30 million
30 million pre-money, which is 14x over this year's profits.
Got it. So और इस 30 million की जो आपने जो वैल्यूएशन की है इसमें आपने WorkHub की जो कोई वैल्यूएशन डाली है या
नहीं, we can't, because valuation is only based on the net profit, so we can't add valuations of WorkHub, and this is why we think this is a massively valuable proposition, because जो सारी WorkHub और Vidmonials की स्टोरी है वो included ही नहीं है valuation के अंदर. No matter what value anybody puts in, it's not included in this. It's right now zero in the valuation.
This is very very strong point कि Coeus की जो हमने दो products की बात की है Vidmonial जिसमें हम company thinks that the Vidmonial can make $2.5 million annualized revenues, or दूसरा WorkHub which they think, which is already ranked as one of the fastest growing products by Capterra, which is one of the top companies for listing, and they think they can get 2 million ARR, जिसमें they will raise money from VC. That's not included in the valuation at all. So while we know पाकिस्तान में जो भी पाकिस्तान स्टार्टअप सीन में काम करते हैं उनको पता है कि इस वक्त seed rounds for pre-revenue, pre-product company की are more than the overall valuation at which Coeus is coming from. So while Ali might not have done a DCF and neither have we, I don't think, a DCF, but we can all see that it's fairly attractive. और जिस तरह से Ali ने बताया कि it's 14 times the valuation 30 is 14 times their core revenue, core earnings, which is from.
I look at it personally at 4x, because I look at the revenues from 2023. We are deploying it and all the growth that is coming in. So I think on a revenue run rate basis, from 2023 perspective, it's a 4x multiple. Current revenue 14x, 2023 4x.
Thank you, Ali. And no wonder the IPO is we are seeing so much demand for it, because जैसे आपने बोला कि 3 साल के अगर आगे की 3 year out आप देखें तो it's trading at 4 times the valuation. The last two questions, because I'm conscious of the time, we have 4 minutes left. Yasin is again asking that how much of the revenue is recurring?
All of it is recurring, so we don't do any projects. It's all recurring revenue. It's service revenue and product revenue, but all recurring, 100% recurring. There's no one-time revenue.
ये बड़ा important है समझना कि Coeus बाकी systems की तरह नहीं है. ये नहीं है कि इनको आप contract दे देंगे कि हमारे लिए website बना दो, या मैं कहूँ तो मेरा product बना दे. इनका client जो है e-commerce के साथ integrated है. They focus on that segment. Their clients are growing. Those as जब e-commerce को नया client मिलता है वो कहते हैं कि हमें भी enable कर दो client reviews का system, and Coeus gets that business. So that's why, and then they keep on dealing with that same client over and over again. So it's not ऐसा कि orders चले जाएंगे. Ali, आपने बोला कि Russia की आपने बात की, and I've been hearing that because of the crisis in Ukraine, the tech space has been disrupted because Ukraine में बहुत ज़्यादा outsourced project जाता था. So now the rates of every other country are going up because there's actually a shortage of IT talent.
Yes, that is true, but there was already a shortage. There was already a disruption kind of that. And yes, Ukraine is a main nearshore destination, and that has been a problem. So you're right, absolutely. But it was already like this. It was already in a way that there's an acute shortage of tech talent.
Thank you. There's a question from Altaf Qureshi about your international expansion strategy.
So, what is the question? That we will expand.
Okay, what's your international growth strategy?
So, effectively, there are two things in this. You have to maintain your cost. If you're expanding in Europe, every expansion you do, you can multiply it by the number of languages you support. So, German, French, Spanish, Italian, and so on. So you have to multiply that. So because we've been doing this for a while, we made for WorkHub US as the primary initial market. एक तो ये कि VCs वहाँ के हैं, दूसरा जो cost of expansion है, that is a lot cheaper. So जो दूसरी चीज है वो ये है कि in terms of customer acquisition, we have 3 sources. एक हमारे हैं partnerships. If you look at Microsoft, the strength of Microsoft is in the partner network. System is the larger in Pakistan, is a large partner of Microsoft. उस तरह के hundreds of providers हैं who are supporting Microsoft, and that is their core strength. And that's on the back of it, they grow. Salesforce भी यही करता है. So we have a partner network that we are growing. Second है हमारा inbound marketing, which is our organic growth, which comes from reviews that we get from people, from SEO. So that's where we're really strong, and one of the reasons why we got ranked higher on Capterra is through that as well. And the third thing is outbound. So one of the utilizations of the proceeds is scaling up our outbound campaign through sales teams directly, and that's what we are doing. So there are these three things that we are doing primarily in the US right now, and then later on we would do it in Europe as well. But we will have European clients to direct to clients, and they come in anyway because they know we are doing this and they want to start using the platform as well. But that's just pure organic.
Got it. And just to highlight के वो international की बात करें, आपका पूरा business international. There's no
yeah,
local.
we have no local. Oh, okay.
So there is no,
when you say international, I think outside of Berlin or Germany.
Yes. So Pakistan se outside सोच रहे थे. So there's 100% of your revenues are in euros or dollars. Yes. So there's no Pakistan business. शाहरुख का एक क्वेश्चन है जो बहुत ज्यादा सवाल आता है लोगों से, और इसका पहला मैं जवाब दे दूंगा, फिर I'll ask you as well. He's asking that why are you listing on Gem board? क्योंकि आपने खुद बोला कि आप कुछ अरसे बाद हम मेन बोर्ड पे चले जाएंगे. So why are you listing on the Gem board?
It's a very good.
पहले let me just give the पहला answer from my perspective that because when I started this process of talking to Ali and trying to convince him to list the company, I was telling him that there's this new market Gem board. I took him to a few investors. Shahrukh, you know us, so okay, our investor network. So I took, and they all said, "Hey, give me pre-IPO." Everybody he met, they said, "Give me pre-IPO, give me pre-IPO." And I convinced him that listing on Gem is essentially like pre-IPO. But it's better because it has better corporate governance, it has better disclosures, and it's still listed. And the second thing was that it was a little bit of the convincing from my side to tell him to list on Gem was also because of our mission, KSB's KTrade mission of trying to help Pakistani capital markets to grow. Because I think अगर इस तरह की companies list होती है तो जब भी Gem board अच्छा करेगी, जब भी लोग investors Gem board की तरफ देखेंगे. इस IPO को मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ कि जिस तरह के इन्वेस्टर्स और जिस तरह के इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स और हाई नेट वर्थ इन्वेस्टर्स पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे, I think it's the same as any other board. So instead of doing private raise placement, which we could have done, and we would have earned the same fees, they would have earned the same money, perhaps they could have even gotten higher valuation, but I thought that this was very critical for Pakistan capital markets development. So I spent a lot of time trying to convince him to take that risk. Ali, would love to hear your take on this.
So I have the company, the entrepreneur view of that. So the entrepreneur view is that your listing ka process, it's generally part of your strategy overall, right? And it's a project, and it's a very time consuming, and it takes a lot of energy of the organization to get listed. Again, like any project, if you divide a project into milestones, it makes it easier to do the project, and it makes it easier for you to sustain it as well. So that's why having a milestone of Gem board effectively is making it easier for us to go to the main board. एक तो ये चीज है. दूसरी चीज ये है कि अगर if we want to do M&As, which is the case, and we want market cap, so market cap हमें Gem board पे मिल जाती है. It doesn't need to be main board from day one. So जो हमारा purpose है वो meet हो जाता है. तीसरी चीज, and which is the most important thing, a lot of people say कि आप undervalue कर रहे हो company को. But the thing is कि अगर आप 15% of company को undervalue करके 85% को massively oversubscribe कर रहे हो, that is what as a founder and a shareholder you should look at. Because जो हम अभी promises कर रहे हैं, if we continue to deliver, by the time we get to the main board, all of you who will participate, you will see कि जो इन्होंने कहा है वही किया है और अपने numbers को beat किया है. So that is a way higher return that we would get on the rest of the 85% that will get into the main board and so on. And as we continue to perform, so it's an investor trust, and I think it's not the first thing you think about when you try to raise capital, but once you understand it and you understand कि मैंने market को अपने पीछे and support में लेकर आना है, then I think there is no better way than going through Gem board and then to main board. I don't know why in what circumstances for a tech company especially a direct listing would be more valuable, especially because you have the same investors, same everything. You get that from Gem board as well, and easier, effectively.
UK में मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ कि UK में ज्यादातर कंपनी यही करती है कि पहले एम पे लिस्ट करती है जो कि जूनियर बोर्ड है. एम के बाद once their market cap crosses $2 billion, then they move to the main board or $1 billion. So this is the standard path. 3-4 क्वेश्चंस आए हुए हैं. मैं टाइम अगर हमारा निकल गया तो मैं जल्दी से आपसे कर दूं. Oh, Yasin is asking if PKR starts appreciating, how will you manage this? I'll be very happy. I think everybody in Pakistan will be very happy if rupee starts appreciating against the dollar. I don't see that coming, Yasin.
I don't. My answer to that is that आज एक और meeting थी हमारी, उसमें भी एक question था. We don't look at the exchange rate as part of our financial models, right? So we have all dollarized and euro revenues. All our costs are, so अगर rupee जो है वो equal to $1 हो जाए, 1 rupee is $1, so then of course our cost base goes up, right? Because most of our team is in Pakistan, but in general I don't think it's all of the numbers and all of the projection, they have anything to do with the exchange rate, because all of the 100% of the revenue is outside and we don't make it part of our cost structures. And it's not like hum exchange rate देख के employees की salaries नहीं define करते. So it's like that.
तो आपने basically constant exchange rate forecast किया है अपने forecast में. आपने ये नहीं किया कि डॉलर को रुपये को depreciate करके margin improve कर दिया. शाहरुख का एक question है कि, और उसके बाद I'll come back to the question from Vikas. So apologies Vikas for jumping your question. I'm only doing it because शाहरुख के सारे question complete हो गए. उन्होंने कहा कि आपका जो growth है वो 7 to 20% है, मगर आप इकोमी, आपने कहा कि इकोमी की फिनोमिनल ग्रोथ हुई है, मगर तो आपकी जो ग्रोथ है उनकी ग्रोथ के साथ लिंक्ड नहीं है डायरेक्टली.
I'm not sure right now, or the I guess it means the past growth.
So इकोमी की ग्रोथ, इकोमी की जो ये ग्रोथ, इकोमी की भी यही ग्रोथ हुई है और आपकी भी यही ग्रोथ हुई है. हमने ये नहीं कभी
effectively yes. So it's correlated, but it's not like one-on-one चल रहा है. Sometimes now we will grow faster because obviously we have we have other revenue streams as well. So obviously it will now outpace that, and we will have to the correlation will break effectively, because I think this will become a really small part of our revenue. If we meet our numbers 1 year from now, economy won't be a major revenue driver. It would be a minor, so to speak, revenue driver. So I think it's moving on as well. It's not going to stay like this.
और शाहरुख, इसमें मैं शायद थोड़ा सा ऐड कर दूं शाहरुख, क्योंकि मुझे इकोमी का थोड़ा सा इंटरेक्शन था पिछले सालों से अली के थ्रू. सो इकोमी वाज प्रीवियसली ओन्ड बाय गोल्डमन सैक्स इन्वेस्टमेंट पार्टनर्स. उस टाइम पे शायद अच्छी ग्रोथ वाज not like phenomenal as you described, but then recently they have been, the CEO bought it again from Goldman Sachs Investment Partners, and they have gotten money from the largest private equity company in the world. So their growth will be faster now. Ali still thinks that their Coeus growth will be even faster than that because of the two products and the other initiatives which they are taking. Shahrukh, last question from Shahrukh is that what's the duration of contracts for WorkHub?
They're minimum a year contract, and then they're ongoing, like any SaaS contract.
Bilkul sahi. And now last question, that's from Vikas. Mustafa, he's asking that on a consolidated basis, आपका जो PE है at floor price of 210, that's 40 times earnings. आपने बोला कि it's 14 times based on the services revenues, मगर consolidated basis पे it's 40 times earnings. Isn't that aggressive? And secondly, he's asking that would Vidmonials be a substitute, or will it be a complement the existing review platform of economy?
Second one is it's a complementary. It's not a substitute. It's a complementary. It's a value add. The first चीज़ है ना, उसमें effectively what you are looking at the model, you are including the investments that we are doing in the product when we raise the money. So that's how you're looking at it. If you see this year's actuals, and half a year to ho bhi gaya, and we are slightly ahead of the projection. So this year ke actuals ke upar it is 14x. Agar aap 2023 ka dekh rahe hain, then it would be close to 40x, because we are including all of the investments that we are doing, and obviously we are expected to do that. कि जो पैसा raise करें, deploy भी करना है, use भी करना है, we are expected to do that. उसी तरह अगर आप 3-year forward देखेंगे, then it's 4x. So it's 14x. It has to be 40x because you want us to use the money. The money is not there for the bank, and then it becomes 4x.
Got it. So इस साल का 2020 का आप कह रहे हैं कि FY
2022 is 14x है. Next year it appears to be like 40x or so on projections. and then it becomes 4x. So
Got it. मगर और जैसा मतलब विकास, just to add on this, like आप किसी हम KTrade हमने अपने लिए पैसा raise किया, we have raised more than $4.5 million. You can, our colleagues have written lots of reports on startup funding rounds, and you can check the valuation. पाकिस्तान में आजकल seed round technology companies जिनकी कोई revenues नहीं है, जिनकी कोई profits नहीं है, उनके valuations जो है वो the highest has been $100 million for companies like Tag. Tag जो है digital bank बना रहे हैं, they have zero revenue, zero product. Their valuation is $100 million. So valuation, we can discuss that, but I really think that eComi is extremely interesting and very attractive. Vikas is also asking, so just follow up for that. Sorry, Ali, for taking more of your time. Is that
no? We removed the dividend model. I saw that the dividend, there is no. It was part of an original thing. Yes, you're right. We have removed it, and then now the dividend. So I personally believe there should be a return to capital to the shareholders if it is possible. But this is something that obviously as we go, and as now we have a board, and board has to decide on whether there is a dividend payout or not. I believe in as long as हमने सारी investments कर दी and the company has generated enough cash that it can give to shareholders, it should do that. It should not hoard the cash if there is no other investment opportunity and growth opportunity. So yeah.
Yasin's question, any company which poses a significant threat for you?
वो एक Intel के CEO थे, वो कहते थे only the paranoid survive. So I personally think there's a lot of companies that any company can pose a risk to us. But I don't know of any particular one that I could say, okay, ये जो है इनसे हमने बच के रहना, बाकी सब सही है. They are different because we are in a platform play. There are different companies that address different part of the problem. So all of them would be a problem.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you, Vikas, Charukh, and Yasin for asking great questions, and thank you, Ali, for your time. I wish you all the best for your IPO. I as a tech analyst, I think this would be great for Pakistan. I'm very convinced that this would be an amazing IPO. People really like your story because it's all international. So there's no about international. It's all 100% dollar exposure. So you benefit from that naturally. But also it's about high quality growth company, and with 2 products, I can assure you, I can raise you money for WorkHub at perhaps higher valuation than Coeus. So would love to also follow up on that then, because I think I can get you more interest. And I think just the last point, that would be great if you can also share some demo of WorkHub on your website, or so that people
you can go on workhub.ai and sign up, and then your team will give individual demos to everyone who signs up.
Thank you, Ali.
And free of cost. It's free for everyone in Pakistan or because of this webinar.
Perfect. Great. So freebies as well. Great. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.